Good evening. If you can hear my voice right now, you're already on the platform. The air is cool, smelling faintly of metal, and just a little of coal, even though this train hasn't run on steam in decades. Somewhere under the station roof, pigeons shift and coo, their wing beats lost in the high open air. Your carriage is number 7. A yellow sign sways gently as people pass. A porter in a dark blue uniform nods to you and helps lift your suitcase up the narrow metal steps. The steps are cold, even through the sole of your shoe. Inside, the air smells of wood, a little dusty velvet, and very faintly of machine oil. It's a smell that always means one thing: the journey has begun. The conductor checks your ticket without hurry. He has the tired, kind eyes of someone who has seen hundreds of evenings just like this one. Compartment 4, he says. Third door on the left. You walk down the narrow corridor, and the floor sways slightly beneath your feet. The train is still standing still, but it already seems to be breathing, gathering itself to move. The corridor is lined with dark wood, polished smooth by decades of passing hands. The brass handrails along the windows are cool and worn glass smooth. Outside the corridor windows, the platform still glows yellow under the lamps. Somewhere far off, a whistle sounds. Not your train, a neighboring one, leaving a few minutes early. A woman in a long coat passes by and nods to you like an old friend, though you've never met before. That's just how it is on this train. Everyone is, in some small way, already acquainted, simply by sharing the same road tonight. The corridor lamps glow softly through shades the color of weak tea. Even the metal and glass seem warm because of it. You count the doors. 1, 2, 3. Here is your compartment. The door slides open with a soft wooden sound. The compartment is small, but everything in it feels considered. 2 benches face each other, upholstered in dark green velvet, slightly worn at the armrests where hundreds of hands have found their balance through the sway of the journey. A small table by the window, a lamp with a honey-colored shade, an empty glass in a brass holder, waiting. You set your suitcase into the overhead niche. The shelf creaks faintly as it accepts the weight, a sound that already feels almost familiar, though you're hearing it for the very first time. The window is tall and narrow. Through it, the edge of the platform, a lamp, someone's polished shoes hurrying somewhere. You sit down. The velvet gives gently beneath you, without resistance, as though the seat had been waiting for exactly you. Somewhere deeper in the carriage, a door closes, then another. The train is getting ready. A gentle jolt. At first it feels like nothing more than the sigh of an old machine. But then, slowly, almost imperceptibly, the platform begins to slide backward outside the window. One lamp, another, a hand waving to no one in particular. The wheels don't find their rhythm right away, first uneven, stumbling over the track switches, then steadier, more certain. Tuck, 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 tuck. This sound will be with you the whole night now. You can choose not to notice it, or you can let it become the only thing that matters. The station disappears. In its place, the scattered lights of the outskirts, then darkness outside the window, broken only now and then by a lone lamp at a crossing. The city sees the train off slowly, reluctantly. Windows of houses, some lit, some dark. In one, for just a moment, a silhouette is brewing tea. In another, the blue flicker of a television. You don't know these people. You never will. But for this 1 minute, you're all part of the same evening, the same darkness settling over the city. The train crosses a bridge. Below, a black river, scattering the reflections of a few distant lamps. The sound of the wheels changes on the bridge, deeper, more resonant, as if the train were briefly inside a bell. And then, again, open land, fields, the steady rhythm returning. Tuk, 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 tuk. A soft knock at the compartment door. The conductor offers tea. You could walk to the dining car if you feel like stretching your legs. It's 2 carriages forward. White tablecloths, brass lamps, the quiet clink of dishware. There's almost no one there now. An older man reading a book in a leather cover, not looking up. A waiter slowly polishing glasses, holding each one up to the light. But you don't have to go. You could simply take your tea here, in the compartment, hot, in a thin glass, warming your fingers through the metal holder. Take the first sip. Feel the warmth spreading slowly from somewhere in your chest. Outside the window now, only darkness and scattered lights. A lone house, a farm, a sleeping village. The door opens again, quietly this time, almost soundless. A fellow passenger steps in, an older man with a gray beard in a worn but tidy jacket. He nods, asks if he may sit, though the compartment is shared, and the seat is rightfully his. For a while, you sit in silence. It isn't an uncomfortable silence, it's the natural kind, the kind that settles between 2 tired people on a train at night. Traveling far? He asks at last, quietly. You answer something. Or you don't, just a nod, it hardly matters. He smiles, understanding, and pulls a small notebook from his pocket, beginning to write, slowly, in a careful hand. Then he puts it away, leans back against the seat, and closes his eyes. Within a few minutes, his breathing grows deep and even. You remain the only one still awake in this small space. Outside the window, open fields. The moon appears and hides again behind thin clouds, and the landscape seems to breathe because of it, silvering, then fading. Silhouettes of trees drift past. A lone oak in the middle of a field, a row of poplars along an unseen road. A distant forest, a dark ridge against the horizon. The train crosses another river, wider this time. For a few long seconds, the metal of the bridge hums beneath the wheels, the sound carrying far into the night quiet. Somewhere in the darkness, a single lit window flickers by. Someone else awake tonight, too, for some reason of their own. Tuk, 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 tuk. The rhythm is lulling now. Your eyelids feel heavier. The train begins to slow. Not sharply, slowly, almost reluctant. The wheels ease their pace, and the silence outside grows thicker. The platform of a small station. Almost no one there. A single lamp, a sign with a name you don't quite manage to read. A figure on the platform, someone with a suitcase, waiting, raises their head toward the lit windows of the passing train, but doesn't board. Just watches the lit compartments slide by, then lowers their eyes again. Somewhere ahead, doors hiss open. Muffled voices, footsteps. Then again, the sound of doors closing, and after a long pause, the train begins to move once more. Your fellow passenger adjusts the blanket on his lap in his sleep, without waking. You reach for the lamp on the table and dim it, the compartment now lit only by a faint honey-colored glow, barely reaching the corners. Outside, the landscape grows harder to make out. Your eyes are tired of tracing shapes, and the darkness beyond the glass settles into a calm, even backdrop. Tuk, tuk, tuk. Somewhere far down the carriage, a door closes, the last person settling in for the night. The train now belongs entirely to the night. The landscape outside begins to change. Fields give way to hills, hills to mountain slopes. Moonlight catches the snowy peaks in the distance, barely visible, ghost-like, as if painted with a thin brush against the dark sky. The train begins to climb, gently, barely noticeable, but your body senses the new angle, the new rhythm of effort in the wheels. Pines along the tracks stand dark, almost black, against a sky just beginning to lighten near the horizon, where a distant sunrise is not yet near, but already quietly intended, somewhere beyond the mountains. Tuk, tuk, tuk. Suddenly, darkness. Complete. The window becomes a black mirror, and the only sound is the echo of the wheels, reflected off the stone walls of the tunnel, deep and dense. It doesn't last long, but in this darkness, in this enclosed hum, there's something lulling, as if the train itself briefly closes its eyes. Light. The tunnel falls behind, and the mountains open up before you. Close now, real, blanketed in snow that catches the moonlight and gives it gently back. Somewhere far off, a single light from an alpine house clinging to the slope. The train follows the edge of a ravine, and far below, the line of a river can just be made out, a dark ribbon through the white snow. There are no words needed here. Just mountains, snow, moonlight, and the steady sound of wheels carrying you through this beauty, while you perhaps are no longer quite awake enough to notice it. The compartment is quiet. Your fellow passenger sleeps, his breathing even, barely audible beneath the rhythm of the wheels. The blanket has slipped slightly off his knees. Somewhere near the ceiling, the lamp trembles faintly with the motion of the train. Outside the window, snow, mountains, silence. If you listen closely, you might catch the distant whistle of the locomotive, short, cautionary, for some unseen crossing ahead. The train slows again. The snow outside falls heavier now, large flakes drifting slowly through the light of the scattered lamps along the tracks. A small, snow-covered stop. An empty platform. No one boards. No one leaves. The train pauses for a minute, simply because it must, and moves on again, unhurried, into its own private night. Good night, and